Hi everyone, it's Nichol Spohr and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be creating a die-cut deer winter scene card with the Simon Says Stamp Hero Arts limited edition exclusive for 2021 called Deer Window. This is a December exclusive. It is still December or December here at Simon Says Stamp, and we are celebrating with this amazing detailed window die. So you guys probably already know that I am a huge fan of Hero Arts fancy cuts dies, and this one is no exception. The detail is incredible and you can create so many amazing things with this die. It is a fantastic one to add to your collection. Something I particularly love and something I try to achieve with my card today is a winter themed card that isn't holiday themed. We are after Christmas when this is being released, so we're not going to be working on Christmas cards for this season, but winter cards are definitely in the works. And then of course, when the holidays roll around for 2022, you can pull this out and decorate it up to have a Christmas feel. I love that, you guys. I think it's so super versatile. So I die cut my panel from a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece of Neenah 110 pound weight smooth white cardstock. I'm going to discard all the die cut pieces and we're going to start by coloring in our beautiful tree trunks and deer, and then we'll work on building the rest of the scene. You can probably kind of see on my work desk over there to the right that I've pulled out some other Hero Arts product to work with this. I'm really excited to get those pieces layered back behind and see this scene come to life. I always love a good scene card. I'm using E55 and E57 to color in these tree trunks, and I'm just kind of trying to go light up there near the top and also down near the bottom. I laid out the E57 first, and then I'm going to blend out with E55. I'm going to pop a scrap piece of paper underneath here while I'm coloring everything in. That'll just kind of help protect the work surface just a little bit better. Or at least I thought I was going to. You guys, maybe I didn't. Oh yes, I did. So I'm just kind of gently and then a little more firmly blending all of that out. Now I want to use a different brown color combination for my deer. And so for that, I'm going to use E55, 47, oh wait, I said 55. Let me start again. E47, 44, 43, and 40. So it's a completely different brown color combination, and it's my go-to color combination for critters and animals. I'm going to start by kind of tracing out the shape with my E44 marker. The majority of the image will be E44, 43, and 40. E47 will mostly just be used for the hoof and also maybe some extra shading once I blend this out, and if I blend it a little too much, maybe lose some of that detail. So now we're going to pull some of that dark color out with E43. And I did try to avoid the spots on the back of my deer, but eventually I decided that that was too hard to do, and it'll be easier to just go over them with a white pen later on. So I'm going to just kind of forego that and just color over the whole thing. So with E40, I went over everything. It has quite a bit more colorless blender in it than any of the other colors, and I feel like it washed my deer out a little too much. So I'm going in with E47 now and added some shading mostly down near the base that's darker, and I'm going to go back over everything with E44. Now that I have a better idea of my shading and blending, I'll go ahead and darken up some of those areas. Oh, isn't it so cute, you guys? I love it. I'm going to take a black pen and draw in the eye detail. There is a little cut there. If you are familiar with the Hero Arts dies, they have all the little cuts in there, but they don't cut all the way out, which is amazing. So you get all of that incredible detail. I used a white jelly roll pen to add the spots back onto my deer. And now we're ready to start working on building the rest of our scene. To do this, I pulled out a favorite Hero Arts HEROSCAPE stamp set. This is the Winter Woods HEROSCAPE, and I am going to stamp some snow down along the bottom edge, which that step alone just works so well with this particular die. And I am going to stamp this with the Simon Says stamp Pawsitively Saturated Seafoam ink. It's the perfect frosty color for this snow. I'm also just going to take a scrap of Post-it tape and use it as a little mask. I just don't want to fully stamp the blue on my deer. And it looks so good. Look at that. Next, I want to create some trees off in the distance. This is going to be kind of a lot of depth and dimension to this scene, and something that I really try to do a lot in my cards is to combine old and new. So the Winter Woods HEROSCAPE, I believe, is a 2020 release, and I have always loved it. I loved it when it was released. I did a few cards with it, and I thought it would really work well with this particular die. So we're going to stamp the trees with a combination of Simon Says stamp, Pawsitively Saturated, PEARFECTION, and Field inks. I believe I use PEARFECTION only maybe on this one, and then we'll use both colors on the next one maybe. I highly recommend using a MISTI or a stamp positioner of some sort. I did not get a good stamped impression there that first time, and so it allows me to just line it back up and stamp it again. Oh, and that looks so much better. So now we're going to take, I think I lied, I think that was Field, and I think this is PEARFECTION. And you can see this is quite a bit lighter, but I feel like it's a little too light. Like the trees aren't going to blend it together very nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and shade or add a little bit of the Field ink along the bottom edge and stamp that. Well, that gives a really harsh line. So I'm going to do that again and add some Field ink, and then I'm going to take my ink blending brush and smooth out that edge, and you get a much nicer transition from one color to the next. I will even stamp the third layer of trees, and then there's coordinating dies for all three of these images that we are going to use. In addition, there are two individual trees, a moose, a fox, a bunny, a North Pole sign. So again, this is another set that could be Christmas, but also it works for winter. My sentiment is coming from this. It's sending winter wishes, but there's also happy holidays and Merry Christmas. So it really works for a lot of different things. And the die, you can see, doesn't die cut the entire shape, which is great because I can leave these a little long. I'm going to simply just kind of trim them into two pieces, and I'm going to use scissors. I'm going to purposely leave them a little long so I have a little room to maneuver and kind of position them and layer them the way I want to back behind my deer window. If you wanted, this would also make an adorable shaker card using this deer window with whatever you wanted to place inside of that window scene. Now, I always like to kind of play around with my placement. So I've got my layers, I've got my scene, I'm checking it out, seeing if I want to add that third layer of trees. I originally started with two. I did end up using all three. And we are going to go ahead and shade a background sky. I want it to be kind of a nighttime snowy white sky, snowy blue sky. I am going to use the Pawsitively saturated inks in Cadette and Royal on my smooth white cardstock, and I'm going to add the Cadette color first and then blend the Royal ink into the Cadette. And this creates the most beautiful wintry sky. I absolutely love these colors together. And look how fabulous the Simon Says Stamp blending brushes work with these inks. So smooth, so pretty. I absolutely love how this looks. Then I'm going to take some white gouache and we are going to splatter that sky with snow. It is a great way to add some fun texture and interest. So I'm kind of playing around, seeing how this is going to look, how much sky is going to be shown, just to give me an idea where all the snow needs to go. And then I did stamp that third layer. I guess I didn't splatter the sky quite yet. Let's let the ink dry a minute. I used the field ink for this layer. I believe I stamped it 3 times, which does give it a little bit darker look, even though it's the same color as one of the other layers. We will then die cut this layer and do the same thing where we leave it a little bit longer. Here you can see how easy it is to line up the coordinating die and how this layer in particular shows you right where the next layer of trees lines up. If you wanted, you probably could stamp those all in one and then just die cut them with this die. And by stamping them all in one, I mean stamp this layer and then remove that stamp, line up your next stamp, stamp that one, and then you can die cut it. Okay, so I like how this looks. I think this is going to work out great. Before we attach these to the background, this is where we want to add any remaining images for our card, kind of plan any of that out. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the moose and the bunny from the set. We're going to stamp the moose in Simon Says Stamp Pawsitively Saturated Ink in MOCHA. And we're going to stamp the bunny in Simon Says Stamp ink, Pawsitively Saturated Ink in LATTE. I'm so excited that Simon Says Stamp has brown inks in the Pawsitively Saturated line. They are perfect. So there is our moose. Let's do our little bunny. And then we're going to take the coordinating dies and die cut both of these guys. So grab my die sheet and the dies that go with this. And then we will die cut these. I'm going to use my Post-it tape to hold those down so they don't shift. And now I'm just going to play around with placement, make sure that I like everything. I'm going to grab the sentiment I'm going to use. I picked Sending Winter Wishes. I'm sure there are lots of other sentiments you can use from any stamp set. You could turn this into a birthday card or any kind of occasion, a hello. So definitely super versatile. I'm going to go ahead and stamp Sending Winter Wishes with Cadette and Royal Pawsitively Saturated inks. I like kind of an ombre effect here with my sentiment. I'm using the Misty so that I can get this in the perfect ombre look. That looks so pretty. Now, I also think that the sky is going to need a little something else. plus one of the layers needs a little more snow. So we use the big snow image from the Winter Woods HEROSCAPE right underneath the deer. There's a smaller piece of snow that we're going to stamp on one of the layers here. It shows when we layer these, and I think it just looks so much nicer and seamless, just like it's another little rolling hill of snow back there that the moose is standing on. So I wanted to stamp that, and that's with the SEAFOAM Positively Saturated ink again. Here's my background, the beautiful winter sky. I'm going to add a little water to my white gouache, and then we're simply going to splatter this right here in the upper part of the panel where it's going to show. Now this is going to need to dry, and I would recommend maybe doing this a little earlier because I had to walk away from it and let this air dry before I came back and put my card together. Next up, I am going to take the snowy splatters from the Winter Woods HEROSCAPE and snowflakes from the Hero Arts Merry Snowmen stamp set, and you can pick snowflakes from anything, but we're going to stamp the snow, this little snow cluster, all over the frame with the SEAFOAM Positively Saturated ink. And then we're going to stamp our snowflakes with either Cadette or Royal. And this really ties it all together. It gives it that frosty, fun look. I opted to use an acrylic block here instead of my Misty, as I was going to be moving around a lot with my snowflakes, and decided that this was going to be a lot quicker. So we're just going to go all around here. Make sure and have some hanging off the edge. Let's go ahead and switch to our Royal ink. I accidentally grabbed SEAFOAM before I realized I did not want to use SEAFOAM. And we're going to stamp some more snowflakes. And then we'll switch back and do a couple more in the Cadette color, which is the little bit lighter color. I think it's all starting to come together now. Then we're going to assemble our card and add finishing touches. And Odin is seriously snoring in the background, you guys. I'm so sorry. Apparently, it's been rough. Okay, I'm going to move my scrap piece of paper out of the way, and we are going to start putting together our layers. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some foam adhesive on the back of my front panel. And this is just to give it a little bit more prominence so that it pops up against all of the trees and the background scene going on. We also want to glue in place our little bunny. I'm going to kind of tuck him over here by the side of that tree trunk. On the back, I'm going to make sure I put foam adhesive around all the edges as well as down the trees to give this card a lot of stability. This is where you would back this panel with acetate before putting the foam adhesive on if you wanted to make it a shaker. I think if I would make it a shaker, I would probably trim this panel down just a little bit, probably to 4 by 5 1/4, so that it's not the full size of the A2 card, because that will help it fit in a regular standard A2 envelope a little bit better. So I tend to be really generous with my foam adhesive. I know I've talked about this a lot. I love foam adhesive. So there is our frame. Let's go ahead and get our snowy layers together. I'm going to put some strong adhesive on the back, and we're going to simply line that one up exactly. We're going to put our final layer in place. Oh, look how cute that's going to look. And then we're going to put our moose there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue him down because I'm pretty sure that's where he's going to go. And then we need to place that panel on our wintry blue sky. I'm going to go ahead and add some little embellishments. I think I'm still waiting for my gouache to finish drying at this point. So I have pulled a couple of Lucy's Little Thing indigo droplets. I love these little blue droplets. We're going to put a couple of hearts here, and then we're going to do a scattering of silver star confetti around to kind of finish it off, add a little bit of silvery sparkle to our winter scene. So, so cute. Guess I waited to add those stars. I'm going to place this down first. And then we're going to pop that right there in place. And I can see that it's not, that it overhangs my background a little. I probably just didn't trim it quite right. So I'm going to go along the sides and clean that up before I attach my frame. And then we will just pop that right up. I'm going to peel off the backing paper from the frame. I mean, that scene right there on the desk is so pretty like that. But when we pop up this little deer window frame, it just turns it into magic. I am such a fan of these Hero Arts dies. They're so well done. And I love that there's an exclusive for December. Oh my goodness, you guys, how pretty is that? I totally didn't get my frame on straight. So when you see me fiddling here, this is me fixing the fact that I didn't get it straight. And I knew that was going to drive me crazy. So I'm being really, really careful. And then I totally noticed that some stuff was overhanging the front. Quality control. That's what we have here, is some quality control happening. And the little tear happened luckily where it's hidden. Oh, so much better. Okay, we are going to finish with a scattering of tiny silver star confetti. I'm going to add little dabs of glue all over my scene, including the background and the front panel. These are my favorite little mini star confetti from Lucy's Little Things. Once we have that done, we're going to place this entire panel on a white top fold card base, and that is it, my friends. I hope you have enjoyed this video showcasing the Simon Says Stamp Hero Arts limited edition exclusive for 2021 called Deer Window. Remember, this is an exclusive limited edition, so if you want it, make sure and pick it up right away, because when it's gone, it's gone. The supplies used in today's video are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here is another video featuring Hero Arts products that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a new card making video. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my Patreon members. If you would like to become a member of Patreon, please click the link down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.